Hey, so I want to go ahead and just kind of summarize the idea between learning how to learn and the idea between understanding how thoughts are put together in a way that your mind can understand them, meaning that they break down the process of how to learn something. And it's really interesting to understand that. It gives me a relief that a lot of the things that I actually was like struggling with are not something that is unique to me. Is actually something how the brain works. It also gives me a relief to know that I can literally learn anything that I put my mind to, as long as I'm focusing on these strict rules. That breaks down the barriers of understanding that people can learn new things no matter where they are in their life. And utilizing Barbara Oakley and Tara Sivnowski's lessons curriculum that they put up for learning how to learn was a great way to introduce that idea into it. I actually went ahead afterwards and visited the brainfacts.org to kind of learn a little bit more about what's going on in the world of understanding how the brain works. It's a fascinating because I work with like software development for a while, and it makes sense now that your brain almost acts similar to like an operating system. It acts almost like a computer, where it takes in information and it can search and sort information, and then if you want to build more build a better program, instead of you just having a whole bunch of lines of code, you can chunk them down into things such as like functions that are utilized heavily in object-oriented programming. So understanding those things, I can do that. Now I actually take those things and I'm like trying to utilize it for another course, like a calculus. And I'm actually like solving all the problems in Python. In this way, you can kind of figure out how each piece that you used to solve the problem, I can basically just pipe those all in now to finish certain questions. And as I move on, I can continue to refactor my code like that. I like that. That it's just like you're not trying to solve everything in your head, and you're not having to write things down too. But writing is great, which moves into the other part of the actual course, was that when if you're writing things by hand, it's much better than actually doing a lot of typing. And for me, I used to do that a lot in school, and people used to look at me all weird. Like, why would I want to, use a pen and different color pens? And, I would even write my code down, and have it structured in a way. And I felt like that was a great way, because I think it gave me an opportunity to have a mental model of what I was actually looking at. And it made it easier for me to find those particular structures, like, code structures on, in huge lines of code, whether in school or at work. So moving to the last part, which I was talking about with the Twitter follower that basically explained to me what I learned from the summary that was brought about testing, was that testing is a great way to quiz yourself, to avoid not imposter syndrome, to avoid an illusion of competency. And testing yourself on a regular basis helps you to also build it into your memory long term too. So it basically gives you a much deeper focused state. But when you're about to actually take a test, when you're ready to, like she said something, Barbara Oakley talked about taking the diffuse mode, like just going through the entire book, trying to take advantage of the easy ones that you have and then move to the harder ones. So that's great to understand that your mind does those things. It's one of the reasons why I understood when Barbara Oakley said that sometimes when you're doing work and then sometimes you walk away and then you solve it because your mind has moved from the focus state to move to the diffuse state. That all of these things is almost like when you have to go eat something and you're digesting your food, or when you get hungry, it makes your mind more like an actual organ in your body rather than it being like this mysterious magic black box, Well, that's it. I don't really want to take too much time talking about it, but these type of videos is really fascinating to me, and I really like being able to explain these things because it helps me solidify it myself. And if you watch the video and you like it, it helps me to know that I made sense to someone else. So thanks a lot, and I'll see you guys in the next video.